record. All right, we're recording now. Let me make sure my dot's on. Welcome. This is MELS 605 Town Hall. Appreciate all of you joining us. There's Dr. Robertson, Dr. Stone's with us, Dr. Stedman. I don't know how many other folks. Let me see here that we've got with us. There's Travis. Welcome. There's Jeannie. I see a lot of folks. So I appreciate y'all being with us this evening. I wanted to have this town hall is to try to make sure that we're all on the same page with things that we're doing. I'm going to start us off with Dr. Stedman. He's going to speak directly to the SOP. He has been seeing some issues with that, so I'll let him start us off tonight.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. First of all, if you are still trying to finish up with the CAP, basically at this point you are behind, so you need to get it done. It needs to be in. Am I right, Dr. Lamb?
Yes, sir.
You should be on the SIOP, and you should be working hard on the SIOP. So if you're not there, then you've got to do some hustling over the next little bit. As a coach looking in the internship shell, many of you that are submitting for comments or wanting me to look at things, the problem that I am seeing, and I'm sending it back, and you may say, well, that's blunt. I don't know any other way to put it, because it's not a copy and paste. Now, Dr. Lamb has been very gracious to provide you with a template, and under each of the task or the prompts, he has told you specifically where you can go and find the information that will meet the needs for that area. But you've got to, it's not just going back and just completely just taking what you've done and putting it in there. You've got to find the pieces that fit in there. He's just telling you this is where you can find that. And there has got to be some narrative work in there. First of all, when I look at it, what am I looking at? You've got to introduce it with something. And then the narrative has got to let me know what I'm looking at. And then there has got to be something to link it, in there, some transitional type things, so that as your evaluators are looking at it, it makes sense to them. Now, Dr. Lamb and I, or any of the instructors, when we look at it, we know what we're looking at because we have worked with you in 605 and we know 605. But that's not enough. It has, when you put it all together, it's got to flow. It's got to make sense. It's taking all that you've done from the very beginning and basically putting it all together. It's like you got a book when you get through. And from the beginning to the end, it's got to flow and it's got to make sense. Dr. Lamb, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
Okay. Dr. Zions is with us. Dr. Robertson, y'all have anything that you'd like to add for your 605s in terms of any of the work that you're seeing? I see you've got Dr. Whitaker as well. Anything that any of you, Dr. Stone is with us. So most of the instructors are with us tonight. Is there anything that you folks are seeing that would be helpful as a reminder for our candidates?
And I think he's doing a great job. So we're on track.
Good. That's Dr. Zions, and she says that her students are on track, doing a great job. That's good to hear.
The only thing I would say, Dale, is that maybe to pick up the pace, because it's going to get quick, fast here at Christmas and Thanksgiving. So pick up the pace in some of the things that are being put in the shale.
Yeah.
But the classes I teach are doing pretty good at that. But it might be just a general thing that Christmas and graduation is going to sneak up on you before you know it.
It is.
And I will say, and those of you that are instructing knows, there are several students that have they've completed the SOP. It's already in. They've got their final scores. They've submitted their screenshots, and the ones that have followed the directions, they've clearly gotten a 4.0, and and it was easy to read and follow. And I don't think I've seen one that has not gotten a 4.0 yet.
That's great. That's great. I've kept an eye on those. Those seem the ones that are going in seem to be really good. So I see all those as they go in, and so I've been very pleased with those.
Dale, it's Malia. Can you hear me?
Oh, welcome. Dr.
Yep.
Neal's with us tonight. How are you, Malia?
I'm good. You just can't see me. I am noticing that a number of students are staying pretty far behind. I have about half of my class that's staying on top of this, but another half that has really fallen by the wayside. So I just encourage them to try to get caught up.
Well, I encourage that as well. Please remember that you can go to $6.99 in the spring only for portfolio work. If you don't complete your classwork, then you're going to either fail or get an incomplete, and those incompletes are only 30 days during the holidays. So you need to pick up the pace if you're behind. Please remember that there is no $6.99 if you don't pass your class. That's only if you're past your class and you're lacking in your task stream portfolio. We can put you in a $6.99 in the spring and charge you $600 to do 1 credit hour of internship. But if you don't pass your 605 class, you have to sit out for a year. So be cognizant of your time. It's going to be Halloween in 2 days, and the season only gets busier. So, I've got some items on the agenda that speaks to that in terms of what you need to do and make sure that you get these things done in a timely manner. First thing I want to cover tonight from the agenda. Thank you, Dr. Neal, for that. Anybody else have anything else before I dive into the agenda? For those of you, the faculty that's with me, don't hesitate to jump in as I go through these things. First thing I want to cover is the competency folio and task stream. Please make sure that it's complete before you upload it. That means 3 rounds of competencies, competency proofs for each of the 21 competencies. Let's look at that quickly. I've got it pulled up. So you've got over here on the left, you've got all of your 21 competencies. You stop at visionary. Make sure that you have 3 proofs. And again, let me mute this.
I was really upset with them because.
Okay. You'll have to unmute if you want to talk now. Make sure that you have 3 in for each of these 21, and that's communication down through visionary. You don't have to do anything with digital learning competencies. In this semester, you don't have to do anything with internship log. You will put all of your logs in to the DRF portfolio, whether it's 3 for the add-on licensure people or 5 logs for your regular master's people, and they should be 80 hours each. So you don't need to put them in for comments this semester. You just put all of them in the DRF portfolio and submit those separately for evaluation. So communication down through visionary, 3 proofs each. Please remember that you don't have to do an analysis. You've already done the analysis elsewhere. So make sure that we want icons, we want pictures, we want artifacts, we want agendas, we want minutes, we want video, we want picture of that shows proof that you have met those competencies, that you were doing that work that you wrote about in your evidence artifacts, or that you listed on your log of clinical hours. We want to see proof that you did those things that you said that you did. Now, when you get all them in there and you've got all 21 for 3 rounds, that'll be 63 total. At that time, you upload this folio into your DRF portfolio for evaluation. Sharing, publish, and share will not do that. You must move this folio into your DRF portfolio for evaluation. Now, to that end, in each of your 605 classes, I have a short video, and I do mean short, less than 3 minutes, on how to do that. It's in all of your 605 shells. I have pre-recorded you a video of how to upload your competency folio into your DRL portfolio for evaluation. So if I go back to that, and you start in your DRF portfolio, I'll do spring 18 add-on. I better. Let me change my view here. Okay. I'll do one that looks like yours. You simply come to Final Competency Folio, click on it, and follow directions from the video. It's really simple on how to upload it. Just do an attachment. Now, again, this is on video. I'm just going to go through it quickly, but you can watch it again on video. Go to your DRL portfolio. Click on an artifact created in TaskStream, which is a folio. Select the category, which is a web folio. Select work, which would be your competency folio. Spring 18. Add file. There it will be. Save and return. Don't forget to submit. Submit your work, and then you'll get a notice that you have submitted that work. It's just that simple. Now, if you didn't follow me as fast as I went, again, there's a video. It's in each of your class shells on how to upload it. Don't upload it until it's done now. Make sure that all 63 are in there, because once it goes, we can't put it back. So that's how you upload it. For your internship log, simply click on internship log, attachments, and put either your 3 or your 5 in there. Again, once they're in there, save and return and submit. Make sure you do that. For your 605, you will upload your CAP for evaluation, your SOP. Make sure you do your School of Ed dispositions. There's no work for you to do there other than just rate yourself. Your competency analysis, that's a straight copy and paste from where you did your competency analysis in your SOP. When you got to task 5, you had to write your analysis. You just copy and paste those if there's a place. If not, you just rate yourself. I think I have taken that out, but it may be in some of you have a place to put that. If you do, if there's a box, you see the later ones, I've taken it out. If there's a box, just copy and paste what you wrote in task 5 of the SOP. If there's not a box, just rate yourself, met or not met, save and return and submit.
Dr. Lamb, the ones that have submitted so far, there's not anything but to rate themselves.
Some of them, there are boxes. I asked that those boxes be removed. If they're there, I'm sorry. I asked that they be removed. The TaskStream people were supposed to take those out. All you're supposed to have to do is rate yourself. But if the boxes are there, put something in them and we'll move on.
That's all I've seen so far.
Yeah, hopefully there won't be any, but I did have one. Some of the 5-semester people, they said that the boxes were still in there. So add-on licensure, hopefully yours are gone. If they're not gone, put something in them. If they are, then they did as I asked them to do. So hopefully that will be easy enough. So let me get out of this. And there we go. So that's what we do this semester. If you're an add-on, if you're a regular, then you have the same thing, just the SOP. If you're a regular, you have the SOP, School of Ed dispositions, competency analysis, final competency folio, and internship log. Now let's talk about some dates. All right. The list of completers for both master's and add-on licensure has to be at the registrar's office at 9 a.m. on Monday, December the 3rd. That's in order to print the programs for graduation, order your diplomas, and your certificates for your add-on people from Jostin. So that's the date that we're working on. Your TaskStream portfolio must be complete at that time. That's everything has to be done. Now, backing up from that, all evidence artifact work, that's the AppSell, AppTel, OMA, Skip Cap, and SIOP. That work must be submitted for evaluation on all of those by no later than Monday, November the 19th at 9 a.m. in order to allow time for revision to meet the December 3rd deadline. That gives us 2 weeks for us for it, if it gets sent back for revision, for you to get it back, to fix it and get it back and get it regraded. So those are your drop dead dates there. That Monday, December 3rd at 9 a.m., if your portfolio is not complete, then you will have to come back and do a 699 in the spring. In order for us to get it back to you in a timely manner for revision, everything needs to be in there in terms of your 6 evidence artifacts by November the 19th at 9 a.m. Hopefully there won't be any revision, but just in case. So those are your drop dead dates. All right. Now,
So Dr. Lamb, again, that November 19th, that means that you've got 3 weeks approximately to get all this done. So
the 6 evidence artifacts, that's correct.
Yes.
Then
Yes.
you've got 2 more weeks to finish up your competency folio, your competency analysis, your School of Ed dispositions, your internship log. You've got 2 weeks after that to get all of those done. But your evidence artifacts, because there's grading involved that goes to outside evaluators. Now remember, your coach grades your internship log and your competency folio. That's why we can wait on it. But now remember, we have outside evaluators that do your evidence artifact work. That's why there's a 2-week deadline before the drop dead date of December the 3rd on that for revision purposes. So that is correct. But everything's got to be done by Monday morning at 9. I have to send her the list then. All right. To that end, everybody needs to apply for graduation. That's add-on and regular. Now, if you're an add-on person, you don't have to pay. Masters have to pay $150, and plus any late fee if you have not applied by now. I included in this email that I sent you advertising this evening, and I'll have it when I send this video out for those of you who aren't watching live. I had the registrar, she was kind enough to create us a PowerPoint on how to apply for graduation last minute if you have not done it. And I attached that to the invitation to join me tonight. There's a PowerPoint attached to that. Let me go to that and show you what I'm talking about. What I sent you tonight, it has a PowerPoint, how to apply for graduation. If you've not applied, you need to apply now. Even if you're an add-on licensure, you still have to apply for graduation. You don't have to pay, but you actually have to make sure that you have done the application. As I was talking about in the preamble before we started recording, we're hopeful that at some point in the future that our add-on licensure people are going to be able to participate in graduation. That would be a wonderful thing. However, there's going to be a fee associated with that, and I'm in negotiations on that now. But at this time, the add-on licensure people still do not participate in graduation because they don't pay. So I'm working on that for the future. However, you are invited, add-on licensure people, you are invited to a reception in the great hall there of Tucker. We are out in the breezeway, and we take pictures. We will have your add-on licensure certificates from Jostens. We'll be there. If you don't come, we'll mail them to you. But if you want to come, take pictures, meet some of your classmates, meet us, we will all be there. We get a good turnout from faculty to come, but we will definitely be there at the reception, and it follows graduation immediately at about noon in the Tucker Center, which is out past the basketball stadium, the basketball arena, Luke Shelton, where the graduation is held, in the basketball arena, and then we come out and walk out the back of it up to the Student Center, and that's where the reception will be held. So the reception will be there. They have finger sandwiches, snacks, punch. We'll have your certificate. We'll be there. We shake hands and kiss babies, hand out your certificates. And so we will be there, and we'd love to have you join us. Folks who participate in graduation, make sure you understand it starts at 10 a.m., but you've got to be on campus at 8:30, and they've already sent you those directions. That's on Saturday morning, December the 15th. So those are the times. I've written those down. If you're graduating, if you're participating in the ceremony, they've already or will be sending you a notice. You need to be at Blanton Auditorium at by 8:30, so they can get you lined up and get your name cards, get your paraphernalia put on you, and all those kinds of things, your gowns and whatever. All right. So that covers commencement, that covers graduation, task stream, our drop dead dates, all of those things. I'm going to move now to some questions that I've had from students that have come in over the semester. I've had several questions from add-on students about how they would go about getting a second master's degree. You simply reapply through the graduate school. You only have to take 2 classes, MELS 602 and 604. The good thing when I say you only have to take those 2 classes, because you've already completed your clinical internship and you've already completed your task stream portfolio, there's no evidence artifact work, there's no clinical hours. You simply take the 2 classes, do your discussion boards and assignments. You do 602 and then 604. You take 602 in the spring, 604 in the summer, and you can get a second master's degree. It's fairly inexpensive. You only have to pay the per hour course. It's going to run you for those 2 courses with books, because you don't pay the fees. It's going to probably run you about $5,800 for those 2 courses. So that's the deal that we're offering on that. We also have a deal that we're doing. I know none of you fit this. We're also doing this add-on licensure for EDCI doctoral candidates. There's just a tad more expensive, about $6,000. They're going to take 2 courses with us. And so we're trying to be more responsive to get people licensed or get a second degree. And so we have a couple avenues for that. Now, if you're interested in coming back into a doctoral program, I've been doing some negotiation with the EDCI people, and I've got them on board. The LS, I think I'll twist their arm as well. So here's what we're going to do. If you want to come back and reapply and come back into one of our doctoral programs, either in curriculum and instruction or in leadership, the superintendent's program, we're going to offer a deal on evidence artifacts. Dr. Putnam, who's in charge of CNI, and Dr. Laws, I have got them tentatively to agree that they'll give you a break on the number of evidence artifacts. They'll let some of the evidence artifacts that you did in your add-on licensure program. This is only for add-on licensure people. Master's people, when you come back, you'll still have to do all 6 of their evidence artifacts. But add-on licensure people, if you come back into the doctoral program, they'll cut you a deal. They'll eliminate at least 1 of your 6 evidence artifacts when you come back. And so we'd like to have you back in the doctoral program. They're going to offer you an incentive to do that. It's not financial. It's just the amount of work that you do. They are going to offer you incentive if you want to come back. Again, you just apply through the graduate school. If you'd like to come back in the EDCI Masters, which is curriculum instruction, or the EDLS, which is leadership and supervision, superintendent leads to the superintendent certificate. So we do have some deals on the work, not deals on the price. We do have a pretty good deal on second master's degree. That's pretty inexpensive for a second master's degree. And again, the deal is no clinical hours, no task stream portfolio for those coming back add-on licensure that want to come back for a second degree. That's a real good deal in terms of only having to do the coursework on that. So we've had several questions about, what will you do if we'll do this? And so those are the deals that I can offer you at this time. All right. And we've already covered our important dates. I'm going to mention them again. 9 a.m. Monday, December the 3rd, it's got to be done. Everything in task stream. To that end, Monday, November 19th at 9 a.m., we need all of your 6 evidence artifacts in the evaluation. All right. Well, that went well. Anybody have any questions? You can use the chat function. Let me see here. You can use the chat function. I'll pause and catch my breath. And if you have any questions on any of the things that I've covered, faculty, if you have any, just chime right in. All right. The second half of tonight, I wanted to have this done in 30 minutes, and I did it in 25. I can't believe it. The second half of tonight, I want to talk to you about interviewing. Hopefully, you will be interviewing. There's some things I had a superintendent get in touch with me a couple of weeks ago, and I invited some people to apply for a job that's opening up this fall in a district near Gardner Webb. And they were looking for people within an hour's drive, and so I identified those people and sent them out a notice about that. And so hopefully some of those people have applied. If you're not applying this fall for jobs, you will be this spring. To that end, in your 605 class shell under week 16, I have a number of items. Under week 16 on interviewing. I don't want to, I've got my top 10, the things that I think are most important for interviews, the 5 things to bring to your interviews, a 2-page evidence summary that summarizes your 6 evidences. The reason I have that is many of the people who are hiring never went through a portfolio system. They took an exam. They have questions about that, and they want to know about those evidence artifacts, and it's an easy way to show them that. 10 things you should know about your job interview, or 5 questions you should never ask in a job interview. And then I go through the 4 types of interviews that you will most likely encounter on your road to getting your first job in public school administration. Now, it's not just a one interview, one off kind of thing. There generally is 4 rounds of interviewing. Your instructors are going to spend time with you on this, and I can do a separate session on this as well. I probably will and record it. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time tonight, but what I need for you to know is to look at some of these materials and understand when it says first, second, third, and fourth interviews, that you need to be prepared for all 4 types at the very beginning of the process, because they may have them in a different order, or they may skip one and go to the next. You need to be prepared for all of these. The first interview is generally a cattle call interview, where they use that to whittle the applications down, to kind of separate the wheat from the chaff, the serious contenders from the people who are not really serious contenders. One of the things that they normally do in that one, whether it's virtual with a school district, or whether it's written, or whether it's phone, or whatever it is, the first level interview is trying to find out your dispositional behaviors. That's why we use the book Rath and Conchi's Strength Finder book in 605, so that you'll understand what dispositional behaviors are. Some districts are still using the standard Gallup 60-question interview to try to determine if you have the right set of dispositional skills, not just your work skills and your knowledge of school administration, but do you have the right kind of dispositional skills for a public school administration job. For an example, they may ask you a question like, are you always on time? And the answer, of course, is yes. Whether you are or not, the proper answer is yes. That's one of those dispositional things that's very important in the school business. You can't show up late. We start at the same time every day. The building's in the same place. We show up, the bus runs at the same time every day. As I said to some of my students last week in 601, you see this? This is a watch. If you don't have one, buy one. That's how the school business runs. They'll ask you things like, if it paid the same, would you prefer to work with students or work with adults? Well, you're interviewing for a job working with adults. That's what school administrators do. They don't pay you to teach classes or put programs in. They pay you to supervise the people who teach classes and put programs in. And so the correct answer, of course, is I want to work with adults. If it paid the same, whether a teaching or administration paid the same, I'd prefer to be an administrator because I want to work with adults. That's the proper answer. That's the right dispositional skill. So those are that first level is trying to find out if you're the right kind of person to be in school administration. Do you have the proper temperament and dispositional skills? Your second interview generally is with lay people, it's parents, community members, maybe even other people in the organization other than just traditional school administrators. It might be somebody from the central office and some other area of central services, but mostly it'll be parents and people from the community. I've got a PowerPoint under that one. The idea there is can you speak to lay people without using acronyms and jargon that they don't understand? And so that's how to be successful in those group interview scenarios where you have people who are not school people. You think that one's kind of commonsensical? I set up and ran an interview panel in a school district recently for Principal of the Year candidates. Let me say that again, not people who are trying to get their first job in school administration. This panel interviewed Principal of the Year candidates in the school district. And some of those people didn't even understand this. They were all lay people. I was the only administrator in the room. The rest, there was an attorney, there was a pastor, there was a stay-at-home mom, there was a local business owner, and I think the other one worked in county services. There were 5 lay people in there. None of them knew anything about education in terms of the jargon. We had one young man who came in who was very impressive, but he would use acronyms, and then he would say things, well, you wouldn't know what that means. Well, and when he left, one of the folks on the panel said, how many times did he call me stupid? I think I counted about 6. What he said is you won't understand that. What she heard is you're stupid. That's what lay people hear. So the second group of interviews is generally with lay people. I have a PowerPoint that will help you. So when you're asked these questions, you won't give them PLCs and EVOS and all those kinds of things. You will speak to these people in terms that they understand. The third level interview is the principal interview. You're interviewing with the principal. This is where you get to show off what you know. It's exact opposite of the second level interview. This is where you want to be as impressive, where you want to use the terminology, where you can speak the language of the occupation. That's the third one. The fourth one, the superintendent interview, he's not going to ask you how to do a third lunch shift. He's going to ask you, or she's going to ask you, big picture items like 21st century competencies, North Carolina future ready students. And the big question that person's going to ask you is, all right, you understand 21st century competencies and skills, but how are you going to go about implementing them? I have a really good PowerPoint in there for you on how to implement those skills. Or it's actually an article on how to do that, and it's cited. I'm not smart enough to have written it, but it's a really good one. So there are 4 types of interviews. I'm going to do a longer session on this, and just specifically on this, where I'll go through all these materials. Your instructors are going to do that as well. Hopefully, by the time that we get you through this class and this program, we will have you ready to go in and interview where you could impress somebody and get a job. It's going to be kind of futile if you don't get a job. So that's very important to us that we get you planned and prepared. So if you'll look under week 16 in each of your class shells, you will see all these materials. I will do a session where I cover these all in depth. But just in case you get called for an interview before I can get to you, make sure you know where these things are and understand that there are different kinds of interviews and you need to prepare for all of them. You need to know who the audience is going to be. You need to ask before you go, so that you'll know how best to be prepared when you walk in the door. All right. I wanted this to be a short, quick one. As I said, I will do the interviewing. I'll record it and I'll get it to you. I'll guest in one of the classes and record it. So one of you 605's instructors can invite me to be a guest in your class, and I'll do it for them, and then we'll record it and show it to everybody. Usually takes about 45 minutes. And since we're already 35 minutes in, I better conclude tonight. All right. Anybody have anything for the good of the group, faculty, before we get through tonight? Anything I've missed? Please notify me, and I can put out group emails, or I can do another session later on if need be. If I don't get anything, this will be our last time that I'll be with you this semester. Don't forget those dates. Let me go back to that again. Do not forget those dates. These important dates here. Make sure that that you remember. Everything's got to be in to me no later than Monday, December the 3rd, because I got to make the list and send to the registrar. All evidence work needs to be in by the 19th so we can get it graded and returned. I've got questions coming in. Yeah, I'll make sure that Dr. Wilson has these as well. Her shell's different, and so I'll make sure that she has those. That's a good question. I'll make sure that she has these materials. It's that time of year. Start thinking about those things. That's a good one. Thank you, Carrie. All right. Anybody else have anything for the good of the group? All right. Good luck to y'all. I'm looking forward to seeing you all on December the 15th. I'll actually put on a suit and tie. I may even be done with this Santa Claus beard by then. Who knows? And look like a normal person again. So everybody have a good week. All's going well for you. If not, let me know. If not, I will see you on the 15th.